So joining me now to explain why Americans should care about what the Trump administration might be doing in Venezuela, let's head over to the head of the Future of Venezuela initiative at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, Ryan Berg. Ryan, thanks for being with us here today. First, do you think that's what's happening? Are we embarking on regime change in Venezuela?
Good afternoon, Will. It's great to be with you. Thanks very much for having me on. Certainly, I think that the nature of this mission in the Southern Caribbean seems to be evolving. Bringing the USS Gerald R. Ford, the carrier strike group that's just arrived last week, to the Southern Caribbean seems to me to be one of those moments where we've crossed a Rubicon, Will. You don't bring that kind of equipment into the region unless you're intent on using it. It's expensive. It costs about $6 million a day. Had to move it across the Atlantic. There are options that are on the table now for the president, which involve strikes against Venezuela, which he may well greenlight in the coming weeks. So this is no joke. These are real options that are on the table. That said, Will, I will say that I think the president is trying to do this in a way that is as bloodless and as easy as possible. He says he has something that he wants to talk to Maduro about. I imagine that's the moment, Will, for the ultimatum. Now is your time to go. You can negotiate your exit, and that's your option.
All right, to the point of the strike carrier group, the aircraft carrier headed to the coast of Venezuela, it also seems unnecessary to battle drug boats or drug cartels. So it does seem to indicate something much bigger is brewing in Venezuela. Now, maybe there is a way to thread the needle, as you mentioned. Maybe there's a conversation to be had. But if there is not, or if Maduro does what he has done for quite some time and rejects that opportunity, what happens? What do we do? Do you anticipate? Is this drones? Is this aerial strikes? Is this troops on the ground in Venezuela?
Well, the administration says we're entering the next phase. So they've, as you outlined in your intro, they've designated the Cartel de los Soles as a foreign terrorist organization. They've said that the CIA is going to be active in the covert space, conducting psychological operations as well. There were news stories rather about potential leaflet droppings that could be coming soon. But if these things fail to dislodge Maduro, there's a real chance here that the United States will greenlight strikes against targets in Venezuela. And the question at that point, will be, are these targets that are purely aimed at some of those criminal organizations that we know operate out of Venezuela, or are they targets at the nexus of the state criminal relationship, which we also know exists in Venezuela? If they're the latter targets, those are the types of targets that have a real chance at creating a kind of change of regime in Venezuela.
Okay, Ryan, I'd love for you now to explain to me. I would imagine, and it's no insult to the viewer or to the average American, but I don't know that they could name the leader of Venezuela. Perhaps that Nicolas Maduro's name is out there enough that everyone is now familiar. But I think it's very fair for the American public to think, why is this important to America? That's not to reject the idea that it is important, and it's certainly not a defense of Venezuela. But when we're talking about marshaling American forces, American money, potentially danger to Americans, why is it important for us to change Venezuela?
Well, I think that this cuts to the heart of President Trump's agenda in Latin America. The priorities, as I see it, are threefold. First, migration. Second, drugs. And third, China, and to a lesser extent, Russia. In Venezuela, you have all three of those issues present, and all three of those issues present in a major way. I think that's why the focus has been so intently on Maduro, the opportunities that he provides for China and Russia to project power just 600 miles from the U.S. homeland, the regime's participation in drug trafficking, which kills Americans, and the 8 million Venezuelans who have left that country because of ruinous economic policies. I think this hits on all of the issues that the president cares so much about, and why he, frankly, is refocusing U.S. foreign policy on the Americas, because it matters to everyday Americans what happens in our shared neighborhood.
Well, let's just one more quick follow-up question on the shared neighborhood. Again, not a rejection of the answer, but asking for clarification for everyone. Why should it be so important to Americans to ensure, let's just take number 3, that there is no Chinese presence in the Western Hemisphere?
Well, China is not only our greatest economic competitor, but it's also undermining opportunities for the United States to build supply chain security, for example. It's undermining the ability of the United States to wean itself off of Chinese Communist Party control of certain critical industries that we need to be able to prosper and thrive. And we've seen that in the last couple of weeks and months, the Chinese using economic coercion to undermine the American economy and to negotiate with the president. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a friendly set of countries in the Americas where we could build joint prosperity together, and where economic coercion wasn't a daily tool in the toolkit of these countries to use against the United States. I think that's the president's overall message and agenda here, is trying to build a hemisphere where the United States has more influence and more opportunities, and we can enjoy prosperity together. It can't be done with folks like Nicolas Maduro in our shared neighborhood.
Of course, it would be nice, but that word build carries with it a cost-benefit analysis, and one that needs to be part of a continued conversation. What is the cost-benefit analysis? What will it cost us, not just in treasure, but in energy, in effort, in focus, taking away from issues here at home as well? But what will it cost us for the potential benefit of ensuring China, Russia, drug cartels are not in control in Venezuela? And I hope we can continue that conversation. Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks very much, Will.